We would therefore like to serve notice that if Hawa Koomson is left off the hook by the chief clearing agent, Nana Akufo-Addo, as we anticipate, the next NDC Mahama-led government in the year 2021 shall arrest, prosecute, and punish her and all the thugs who were involved in this unlawful shooting incident and other related criminal acts. Distinguished friends, the widespread atrocious attacks on our supporters and innocent Ghanaians across the country are being perpetrated by hoodlums and hooligans belonging to the New Patriotic Party under the leadership and direction of certain MPP members of Parliament, parliamentary candidates, and officials of the despotic Akufo-Addo government, who, sensing imminent defeat in the upcoming December polls, have resorted to desperate acts of violence and intimidation to ostensibly impose their will on the people of Ghana at all costs. Even more bizarre is the active involvement of some unscrupulous security officials belonging to the once revered Ghana Armed Forces and the Ghana Police Service in these shameful acts of intimidation and barbaric attacks on NDC supporters and innocent civilians. This state-sponsored thuggery, as we have sometimes seen, is fast eroding all the gains we have chalked under our fourth Republican Democratic dispensation and has the potential to plunge our once peaceful nation into total chaos. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, you may recall that a few weeks ago, we provided pictorial and visual evidence of similar barbaric attacks against our agents and supporters during one of our weekly press briefings and called on our security services to act. But till date, no concrete action has been taken by our security agencies to punish the perpetrators of these brazen acts of violence and to protect our supporters and ordinary Ghanaians from further attacks. It is this inaction, and in some cases, the complicity and/or tacit approval of our security agencies that has emboldened these MPP thugs and brigands to escalate their atrocious attacks on NDC supporters and innocent civilians across the country with utmost impunity over the past 2 weeks. I shall, at this juncture, recount just a few of the countless acts of violence that our party agents and supporters, and indeed other innocent Ghanaians, have suffered at the hands of MPP hoodlums and their accomplices in the state security agencies in the last few weeks. And let me say, these are just examples. If we're going to talk about all of them, we won't close. It's happening on a daily basis. Even before we came here, we hear back in Kaswa this morning, something has happened again. I mean, what kind of country is this? One, the unlawful invasion of the office of our parliamentary candidate for the Lejokuku constituency, Benaiku, over the weekend by some MPP thugs and unscrupulous military officers, based on a false and contrived intelligence that he was registering people at his office. Without finding any BVR equipment or evidence of voters' registration at the office, these state-sponsored criminals seized the desktop computer at the office, very unintelligent, locked up our parliamentary candidates, party officials, and the Nungwa traditional rulers of the area who were having a meeting at the office at the time, and subsequently arrested and detained the NDC constituency chairman and organizer for that constituency for standing up to their intimidating tactics In fact, they locked the PC and the traditional rulers in their office for over 3.5 hours. I mean, what is this? Sometimes when you hear these things, it's as if you are watching. We used to hear these things about other countries, Liberia and all those funny countries, not in Ghana. The recent incident involving a Metro TV journalist by name Alhaji Mustafa Ashley, who, while covering the voter registration exercise in the Valedura constituency, was assaulted and had his camera seized and recordings deleted by the bodyguard of Catherine Afeku, Minister of State and MPP member of Parliament for the area. So this is, when they are misbehaving and you are taking pictures, then they come and seize your camera, you have to delete. There is no law. If the security services are doing their operations, special operations in Bundase or anywhere, you can't go and film them. If they are operating in the public arena, civil environment, you have every right to record them. And they don't have any right to seize your phone. That is an offense. And we have evidence, and at the right time, we will deal with them. In the central region, Akufo-Addo's invincible forces operating directly under the MPP MPs and MPP parliamentary candidates have been brutalizing NDC executives at the registration centers for insisting that the right things be done. In the Futu constituency, for instance, our Deputy Central Regional Communication Officer, Comrade Lawrence Garte, was brutally assaulted and nearly killed in the process by these hoodlums under the instructions of the MPP MP of the constituency, Alexander Afenyo Markins. Also, our constituency secretaries for Ekumfi and Cape Coast, Comrades Edward Fire and George Justice Arthur, respectively, were brutally beaten by these same bandits belonging to the invincible forces and have sustained several degrees of injuries from these attacks. Again, our constituency youth organizer for the Abra Asebu Kwamankesi constituency, Honorable Eric Mensah, has also been brutalized in addition to scores of branch executives, registration agents, party activists, and ordinary Ghanaians. One of the victims of these barbaric acts from Ekumfu, Akwanso Kokodo, who is our branch youth organizer, is currently battling for his life. The violent invasion of the offices of the premises of Mr. John Dumelo, NDC's parliamentary candidate for the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency, and subsequent brutal attacks on NDC party agents by MPP hooligans under the direction of the MPP MP Lydia Sairam Al-Hassan cannot escape our mention. The leaked audio of the Bono East regional minister and MPP MP for Atebubu, Kofi Amwakohene, who was heard addressing and directing a militia group of the MPP to ensure the registration of MPP minors, attack NDC supporters at registration centers, and rig the ongoing voter registration exercise for the MPP, promising to reward them if the MPP wins the upcoming general elections, is still fresh in our minds. By the way, a lot of media houses have pretended they haven't seen it or heard it. They are not playing it. When it's other people, you play and play and play and play. This is why you are not playing it. Whether you play it or not, the things are happening. They cannot deny it. The things are happening. We are seeing them. So we don't even need an audio. Audio is just God exposing them. It's a confirmation of what is happening. So whether you play it or not, it's up to you. We are all in this country. Let another tape come and play it. We shall see. The gruesome murder of a young, promising teacher trainee in Banda who was mistaken for an NDC agent is the saddest of all. The culprit, a known MPP vigilante and brother to the MPP parliamentary candidate, Joe Dankwa, had earlier been arrested for attacking the member of parliament for the area, Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim, but was sadly released within 20 minutes following an order from above. Obviously emboldened by the order from above and feeling untouchable, he immediately resumed his criminal activities and took them a notch higher by gruesomely murdering the innocent teacher trainee. That a young life with so much promise would be curtailed due to the MPP's lust for power is tragic and should not be tolerated. And as I said the last time, you shed innocent blood, this universe is governed by laws. That blood, the blood of that young man, will speak against them. It will speak against the MPP, it will speak against Nanado, it will speak against the perpetrators, those who plan it, it will speak against them, it will chase them morning, noon, and night, and they will not know peace until justice is served. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, the sad irony is that while the MPP hoodlums who have perpetrated all these heinous crimes have been left off the hook, innocent NDC officials and supporters are being harassed on a daily basis by our security agencies, which see nor hear all the evil that the ruling MPP and their state-sponsored thugs are unleashing. Only yesterday, our parliamentary candidate for Efutu, Dr. James Kofi Annan, was arrested and charged by the police for offensive conduct. His only crime is that he dared to criticize the police commander for Efutu, who has become an appendage and a stooge, an accomplice to the violence acts being supervised by the MPP MP for the area, Alexander Afenyo-Markin. By authoring these words, you are chairman of the committee, and so what? You are the reason why we are not enjoying peace in Winneba. And then he's been arrested. Immediately processed for court. Fast track. That one express. People are murdered. Nothing happens. People fire guns, beat people, burn motorbikes. Nothing. We are all in this country. We shall see. The fact that these innocuous words could warrant such harassment from the police highlights how low this nation has sunk and further accentuates the state-sponsored terror that NDC supporters, who are no less Ghanaian, and other party officials are being subjected to at the hands of the despotic and tyrannical MPP Akufo-Addo government. And indeed, this is MPP Akufo-Addo government, because there are good, normal people in MPP who are not happy with this. What is happening is not a reflection of the entire MPP. This is Akufo-Addo type of leadership. That is why good people in MPP must join us to save this country from where we are heading towards. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, given the poison atmosphere we find ourselves in at the moment, when government officials who have clearly weaponized themselves and their criminal goons to foment more trouble, we can only see looming trouble ahead of the December polls. The National Democratic Congress takes this opportunity to salute all its gallant supporters, parliamentary candidates, agents, and our rank and file for standing up to these cowardly acts of intimidation being championed by state officials and their criminal elements, and in some cases, with active involvement of state security officials. We urge our members not to despair, for as sure as day follows night, good shall definitely triumph over evil. The great NDC party is winning the 2020 general elections, no matter the amount of violence the state and its thugs think they can marshal through political power. You know, when your time is up, some of the things they are doing doesn't even make sense. You know, this is Pharaoh behavior. This is Nebuchadnezzar behavior. When your time comes, God allows you to be foolish. So this is Pharaoh. Let my people go. He won't listen. Disaster will strike them on the 7th of December. They can go and bring Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, or the Salafist, anybody. 7th December, they will go. We hereby urge all NDC supporters to defend themselves in line with the spirit of our 1992 Constitution against any violent attacks by the MPP and government-sponsored goons. We further wish to sound a note of caution to some state security officials who had lent themselves as willing and planned agents of violence against political opponents and innocent Ghanaians. We wish to remind them that power emanates from the people and nothing lasts forever. And hence, whatever power they exercise today must be done in the supreme interests of the Ghanaian people. And let's not forget that beyond local law, there's also international law. They should take a cue from those who are facing trial at the International Criminal Court and Court of Justice from various African countries. At the right time, if they continue like this, it will catch up with them. As the venerable former President Kufuor once said, power can trick you. And indeed, power is tricking them. Do you listen to them? Yes, I shot. I took the gun and I shot. A minister of state. Power is tricking them, and they will wake up on December 7th and realize that it's too late. Do not be deceived by political power, because the tables will soon turn. And they know that the tables are turning. All the signs are clear. And a new NDC government will fish out and deal drastically with all MPP thugs and their collaborators in state security agencies who are currently being used to maim and intimidate innocent civilians. Yesterday was Professor Mills' birthday. As I lay down, I was reflecting. I said, even Prof, if you are alive today, you say no more, Father for all. There can only be peace when there is true justice. God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you.
Very much, our Director of Elections, for that excellent, courageous, and passionate delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, he has said it all, and so I will reserve my words for now and open the floor for your questions. And if need be, we will also make an intervention. And so if you have a question, you raise up your hand. You come to the podium. Tell us your name, your media house, and ask your question so that we can give you an answer. Please, any questions? Oh, okay. You hold it with the tissue. Go and hold the tissue. So those were questions should come. Okay. Okay. Hold on. I'm told we have a second microphone today from Wezo, so you can take the microphone to him for him to ask a question from there. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Abubakar Safman. I work part in Katim. Mr. Ankrah, if you say media houses are being selective in the kind of videos and audios you play, and that if the material of that nature comes up next time and we play it, we see what will happen, are you threatening us? Are you dictating to us what we should play on our various media platforms? Or what do you mean by that? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Let me
answer that before we continue so that it wasn't, you know. I said some. Hello? Okay? I said some. I don't know if you are. I said some. I don't know if you are editor for all the media houses. I said some. So it's who the cap fits. Number two, it's not how can I threaten media houses. All I'm saying is that in the past, when tapes that do not have even such serious ramifications come out, some media houses play and analyze. And yet, in this particular one, some have decided not to play. So we are waiting to see. When some other tapes come out, we will see. Then we will know whether they are genuine or it's hypocrisy. That's the context.
No. Where's the other microphone? Where's the other microphone?
All right. Hello. Thank you. My name is Pakwesi Shando from TV Africa. Now, in your submission, you did indicate that the new NDC government, that is, if it's to win power, will go ahead and prosecute Hawa Koomson. Why can't it do it now? Does it suggest that the party has lost faith in the judicial system, for which reason it is anticipating to only prosecute in the future? Thank you.
Okay. Any other question?
Let me just add up to what they just and just a quick one, Honorable. We know that the police has invited her, and they tell us that investigations are ongoing at the moment. And so if you say that perhaps the police hasn't acted on the complaints that you've been lodging, one would say that is inaccurate and incorrect. How do you explain that? And this is an MP who says her life was threatened, and that is why she admitted to firing the gun. Honorable Ankrah, someone would say that if you were in the position, probably you would have done the same. Isn't her firing the shot justifiable, knowing that her life was threatened?
Okay, no, let me answer the two questions. Okay, we'll answer these two questions before we take other questions. Let me start with the question Parker asked and connect it to what the journalist who came to the podium before Parker also asked. For the records, the police has not acted in the matter of the shooting incident at Awutu Senya East involving Hawa Koomson. She was not invited. She was not arrested. The information we have is that the police officers rather went to her residence to speak with her. That is not how criminals are supposed to be treated by our law enforcement agencies. If Dr. Annan, our parliamentary candidate for Efutu, for uttering mere words, not firing a gun, not assaulting anybody, not causing unlawful damage to any property, for merely uttering words, criticizing the police officer who has been